symbol of all our labels for the Goretti winery in Perugia. Tower completely dedicated about wine. Please come in. This is the most important piece of history we have inside of the tower. It was an orator, he was talking to people, and this statue was found in our vineyards, where today we have our L'Arringatore, the red wine, the super umbrian red wine that represents our winery here in Perugia. It's where we have the history of our family, and we can also see the difference on our land. The Goretti winery has multiple kinds of vineyards, and every vineyard is very much different from the other. And it gives an identity to every singular wine we produce. More calcareum, less clay. Here there is a very completely area where we are, it's in Montefalco, 40 minutes distance, completely different in altitude. It's where we grow our grapes of Sagrantino and Montefalco Rosso, and the territory is full of stones. It's very much drier, and we can have also a nice look of another map. It's the map of our vineyards. So first of all, a quick look of the entire map. So we are here in Perugia, right in the middle of the country between Rome and Florence, and we are very close by to a nice lake, Trasimeno Lake, and in Montefalco it's here, just close by to Assisi and the higher altitude we were talking. We have decided to introduce you today our indigenous grape, the Montefalco Sagrantino, the DOCG wine of Montefalco. And we are going to taste also some other wines, but of course we can't forget the Pinot Grigio. The Pinot Grigio, it's always a very important and interesting wine talking about Italian wines. And this is a very crispy, nice mineral with a great acidity. And I think it's really nice also the very powerful nose that is confirmed also when you taste it on your mouth, on your palate. Great by the glass, but perfect when you want to join it with a nice pairing with food. The Pinot Grigio, like the Grechetto, has a very particular label. One section is a little bit pink because it turns pink when it's medium temperature. So we refrigerated the wine to make you see how it is when it's red. For example, we have the same here, the same label that turns the color for Il Moggio. This is a room temperature that was a little bit chilled from, we just take it out from the fridge. Il Moggio is 100% Grechetto, so our indigenous grape. In Italian say Grechetto, not Grechetto, like all over the world people say, but it's more correct. And we select the most ripe and most beautiful, most perfect grapes on our vineyards of this kind of local grape. And we harvest a sort of 20 days later, always of course by hand and hand picking. And then we bring the winery for the process, but the vinification, the fermentation will be in barrel. So we use a French oak for this wine, for the fermentation, and we keep still the wine after the fermentation for 6 months. That will give to the wine a much more intense, much more powerful, intense taste. Thanks to the the statue that we found in our territory, in our vineyards. This is a 2015 vintage, and it's 60% Sangiovese, it's 30% Ciliegolo, and 10% of Merlot. Actually, this is a big change, and I had to think about it because it's the only vintage, the first vintage, that we decided to make this big change from the 2015. Before it was 60% Sangiovese, 30% Merlot, and 10% of our cherry grape, Ciliegolo. We wanted to give more intensity, more powerful to the Ciliegolo, the local grape, and of course the base, it's always our Sangiovese Grosso, because we really want to express the territory. We want to give more identity to our wine. This is the wine that everybody loves. It's the romantic wine of the family. It's so good. The nose, it's intense, powerful, it's velvety, but it's quite tannic, it's very elegant, velvety when you taste, but also on the nose. The most important red for sure for aging, and for intensity and for aging. It's a wine that is characterized of a big tannin content. It's a wine that everybody loves for the long aging and for the very intensity character. There is a sort of little boy in the same area called the Montefalco Rosso, the DRC, and this wine has a Sangiovese and Merlot and a little bit of Montefalco Sagrantino. And both has an aging in oak barrels. We use actually for the Montefalco Rosso a little bit of big oak as well. Will be always welcome here at the Goretti winery, so it will be a pleasure, and see you soon.